Hi, everyone. So, going way back to October 5th, at least those of us that follow League, and for those of you that know me, I've been following League of Legends esports for what feels like 10 years. Um, and it wasn't until I decided for this Worlds it wasn't until this Worlds that I made a decision to do something that actually put me a little bit deeper into the experience than before. Usually I kind of spent or used League and the casters that I love to like fall asleep. I was watching every game. I was trying to watch every game front to back. I was, I guess, just a really good full time fan. I'd watch like every LCS game, but was really distant from like the global scene, from Europe, from the LPL, from the LCK. I just kind of, always got impressions from Monty uh, or Thorin about what the power across the globe was, more or less. But yeah, so Worlds 2021 came around, and just through some personal decision making, um, I decided, because of how much I realized I do love the game and I enjoy playing, especially with a group of people. But I always knew that I enjoyed the showmanship, the performance, the storytelling, the casting side of it, and talking for a living. I think for some of us would just kind of be a dream. Why people would go into stand up comedy or I don't know, pick a talking job, podcasting and the like. So what I decided was I was going to pick myself a close ended project as opposed to some of the open ended projects that I've had before, like some of my podcasts, and I was going to entrench myself properly in some form into a league related project. I tried out podcasts, I tried out video, op eds, um, maybe wrote a little, but this one was like, no, I like casting, I like commentating. Some of the most iconic moments for me in League have Jat's voice there. It has Kobe's voice there. It has Froskuren's voice there. It has, these stalwarts of our scene, their voices, their emotions really carrying us. And that means a lot to me for what they do. So, what I decided to do was I went and I casted every single game. I went through and I decided I was going to do everything. I was going to cast every single game front to back. And I guess you kind of end up going like, why would you do this, or why would you care to do this? Personally, I had not felt that I had actually done anything that was high commit for League. My if I was ever gonna have a pro career, that's way long gone, and maybe didn't even have the talent for it. Some part didn't get to find out, but that'll be fine. I'll survive. I'll survive on that one. But what I knew I needed to do was, and what I knew I loved, was the casting side of it. And so what I did is that I framed this all out, and I went through every play-in, grabbing some shows along the way. And I did start entirely thinking I was going to do this all live, and I was going to be able to record this while it happened, but life got crazy. Got married in November, and frankly, when there are 8 games a day and you got a full-time job, you have to remember or decide on what the biggest and realest goal was. So for every single situation, I created this workbook and expanded it as needed to record, keep track of how much work I had really done, and get to the same finals everyone else got to experience the Saturday before I actually got married there, back on, what was that, November 6th? Yeah, November 6th was the final, as I recall. So that is that's the roundabout. That's the roundoff for that project, for what I've been working on that some friends have heard about. Um, and actually, if you want to look back at that one more time, yeah, that's 121 games that I have casted. all the best of fives, all the play-ins, all the tiebreakers. Everything got done. Everything got casted. And I got to kind of go through and kind of see what I learned along the way. And I wrote this down maybe ahead of finishing it. But a lot of things that I did get to identify that was missing in my casting, because everyone that knows me knows that I can talk forever, but am I talking in an engaging way? That's a very good point. But some things I noticed is that a lot of stats I missed or just did not have. Or had a trepidation about going in and finding them or knowing what I'm looking for, how to like turn that into something. I know from casting a best of 3 series, I believe, or a best of 5 series with a friend of mine, Kafta, that I'm much more of a play-by-play type of personality when I'm behind the mic, as opposed to a regular analyst or a color commentator. But what I did find, and I'll go ahead and actually go back to that, is that I need kind of more statistical references. Would be a very good bolster for me. Means I need to become more comfortable looking at the stats pages and such like that. I found myself sort of lacking in long-term narratives and history of players, teams, and orgs. There's something to be said about being very engaged in something to where it's like committed to you. Like, it's very impressive to me when analysts, talk show hosts have these long memories of things that happened that either I didn't watch or I was there for, but I don't like clearly recall it because I was not fully engaged in it. And there's some part where like they also have their whole rooms of people helping each other remember the big narratives, remember how Scout was like under Faker for so many years in the academy over in SKT T1, to just Clearlove being a part of the EDG roster and the EDG org, and they, finally pulling it out. I did believe that my lack of fluency in the game or how little I play it might be a slight issue, but that's back and forth. I can still go in and really enjoy playing the game, especially if I've got friends to play with. I did remember or realize, because I felt like I was being quite flat for about half of the project, that entertainment was key. And I think having someone else with me, because I did mostly solo cast this, and I used the casters that were in and casting the game, I used them to try to be jump off points, but I couldn't conversate with them. I couldn't have, banter with them. So I tried to do what I could for being present in the game, trying to have some fun, and trying to focus on what I cared about. And maybe I over focused on what was in the game, even especially at lulls and, slow points in the game. I don't know, because sometimes it's hard to just talk and have fun with yourself. I did realize, at least, because I had also started watching LEC started back up for 2022. And I kind of realized actually Vedius doesn't even know the names of most abilities in the game, but he is entertainment first. So absolute knowledge of skills are not required. It's a nice little ad. It's what got Quick Shut in early on, but it is not the quintessential part of the trade. When solo casting, trying not to have any dead air is really hard, but should be an expected part of it. And I kind of got more accepting of that. There's a certain point where you just are talking and not really saying anything. If you want to get someone's attention, it's never about being consistent in this way. It's about just like kind of being there and then having dips and then rises. Those sudden changes can really set it up. But I wanted to preempt the playlist on my EO120 YouTube page with this video. It's kind of the cap off. It's taken me until today is January 23rd to complete this project, trying to get up at 6 a.m. to try to get a game in. Recently, I've been getting up at 4 a.m. so I could get 2 or 3 games in. Going through hopefully 4 or 5 games on the weekends, while, flying back and forth with Florida to get married, to keep life going, to work full time, and to try to, live life with the people that are actually there with you. So yeah, I can't say that I expect anyone to really enjoy this. It's 121 videos to watch. But if anything, this has been a start off or send off point for me to start picking very specific projects or ideas, crafting them out, and then accomplishing them. The other projects historically, the open-ended ones, they don't bring the same level of satisfaction, I guess, and the same bit of closure. The podcasting was fun and may continue when life finds itself in another place. But for right now, I wanted to start doing things that were with just me, because I have too long required other people to be there to do projects. And this one, I had a buddy Warren come in for a few games early on. Really appreciated his contribution. But after a certain point, it became a just me project through no fault of his own. Just me going, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this done, and it has gotten done. So thanks for tuning in for this little Chatterooski, and we'll see you around.